don't know what I've been through. This ain't just an instrumental. Don't send me one more. I won't let you affect my mental. You don't know what I've been through. This ain't just an instrumental. Don't send me one more email. Fix your face before you get wrinkled. The mouth is fake, and I'm not even tickled. Don't stop. Don't stop. Baby, it's a bop. Don't stop. See you coming for me, and I ain't sent for you. Oh, you didn't mean that, but that ain't no excuse. Doing all this work, still feeling used. Then you need my help. Okay, boom. My mama ain't raised, no dummy. See these tailored suits, why you looking bummy? Your time is up, give it a rest. This is my response, 'cause I heard what you said. Fix your face before you get wrinkled. The mouth is fake, and I'm not even tickled. Don't stop. Don't stop. Baby, it's a bop. Don't stop. Fix your face.
So I thought I'd do a little something a little different, considering that we are doing the Michigan NonProfit Association's campaign. Okay, so MNA, they are doing a special campaign, and I want to share this information with you. If I may, if you don't mind, let me read this to you guys. So Michigan NonProfit is in the process right now of filtering out funds. There's actually $35 million in funding that's available to Michiganders, Michigan Nonprofit Organization founders. This is your time. This is your time that I think you've been waiting on. A lot of times we get into businesses, we start organizations, and we have these elaborate plans, and it's about putting in the work. So when it's time to put in the work, what do we lack? A lot of times we lack funding. We lack people, right? The support. And so now MNA, Michigan Nonprofit Association, they have a relief fund. Okay. And the application opened up on March 22nd. Okay. So I've been trying to help promote that. This is the week of nonprofit takeovers. I'm super excited. Yesterday, I was joined by the founders and CEO of Healing from the Rhythms Within, Vaughn and Kyra B, two sisters from Michigan that are amazing. And if you didn't check out their show on Top of the Morning, which is at 6 a.m., each morning this week, you'll be able to see or hear from, I should say, a nonprofit. And it was amazing. I learned a whole lot, especially for people that's in the entertainment field. Their nonprofit is quite unique, and it's really geared towards helping artists in any form, whether you're a singer, a rapper, a dancer, a poet, a musician. It goes on and on and on. Their services, their organization is quite unique. It's one that I think that you would really find interesting if you're an artist. And we all know somebody who's an artist, right? And then the day before, on Monday, Actually, yeah, yes, I'm sorry. I digress. So today was Vana Kyra's interview this morning. Yesterday morning, I'm sorry, was Nikki Andrews' Worthy Brown Girl Network. Now, her schedule didn't allow her to join us tonight, but she had every intention in being a part of this panel. I had a few people that are nonprofit organization founders that were wanting to be a part of this panel tonight. And I understand how scheduling goes. I've had several things going on before my show started today. Y'all know I normally got my TT from the D shirt, and it's like, yo, I got to be where I got to be, and that's in this chair, ready for you at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So it's like, okay, y'all, I can wear some regular clothes. You know what I'm saying? I can wear a little regular clothes. So it's almost like church. Come as you are. So my podcast is Come As You Are, wherever you may be, because right now we're in a virtual setting. But back to the Michigan nonprofit campaign, the applications are open, ladies and gentlemen, but the applications will close. Let me be clear, they will close on May 5th. So you don't want to miss that opportunity. You don't want to miss that bus. Tonight's guests, they're going to be stopping through. They both are busy women because most leaders and CEOs are. I am one, right? I had a busy weekend. Let me before I wanted to show you who I'm talking about, but let me do a recap. And this has nothing to do with the takeover, but I can take a pause and a pause. I have to send mad love to Ashunta Sharif Kendricks. I had the opportunity to interview her last Tuesday for Tap In Tuesday. She did a wonderful segment here, answered a lot of your questions. And in our conversation and interview, she let me know about the makeup show, which was amazing, okay, in Chicago. And she said, you should come out and meet me in person, face to face, because I've had the pleasure of interviewing her before. So I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, my husband and I have been talking about taking Cody to Chicago, and maybe yeah. So needless to say, your girl Titi from the D, not only did I get the opportunity to meet this queen, because she put that into the atmosphere, she sowed the seed of thought. And she said, you should ask for a media pass because you're media. I'm like, oh, yeah. I already bought a ticket, right? I bought a ticket. I'm like, okay, if I can get a media pass, dope. If I can't get a media pass, no problem. Still gonna be in the building. And I had a media pass, y'all. And I'm super excited. I got out there and I had the chance to mix and mingle, politic, and network with some amazing people. Some people you'll see right on the show. I'm super excited about that. But just front close up and personal. And I was walking through, it was like a child in a candy store because I was just seeing so many amazing events take place. So many makeup artists from around the world, okay? From around the world. Products galore, live demonstrations, fashion show walks, just it was everything. So shout out to the makeup show as well. They were in Chicago. Yesterday was their last day. They were there Saturday, which I attended opening day, Sunday, and yesterday was their last day. So I had to say shout out to them. I'm going to cover that. I'm going to do a full show on them, the experience I had, the good and the not so good. And the not so good wasn't even with any artist. It's crazy. It was with customer service. And y'all know me, I'm big on customer service, right? You treat the CEO the same way you treat the garbage collector, sanitation worker. Okay? Same way. Human being to human being, blood to blood, man to man, woman to woman. You treat them all the same because you never know who you're entertaining. You could very well go into an establishment, and I always say this to business owners. This is so important. It's so important that you pay attention to who's representing your brand, not only in your presence, but out of your presence. Why? They're going to do the whole song and dance for you when they're there, of course. What are they doing and how are they representing your brand when you're not there? That's the most important thing. I think that we lose sight of that sometimes. Sometimes we're so concerned about just having a body versus a person who's going to represent not only themselves because of their integrity, but your brand. So important. And I love to observe. I observe all the time. I wear many hats. So wherever I am, whether I'm attending a play, and I have every intention to enjoy a concert or a play, stage manager hat goes onto my head. And I look for things and I don't even do it intentionally. I don't go and say, I spent all this money for this ticket. Let me sit back and pick apart what went wrong and what I could see from what a stage manager should have seen. I don't do that. It's a natural thing. It's just one of my gifts and it activates itself without me even turning it on. And I sit back and I observe. I do. And I think business owners sometimes need to do that. You need to, I ain't going to say you need to do the undercover boss piece, but some of you need to look at who's representing you. If you're losing business and you were doing so great, start to look at things like why, right? Do a customer survey at the end. Give your customers something. I want to keep growing and giving you and this is just a suggestion. I want to keep growing and giving you what you need and what you desire. Help us be better and give them a poll, give them a survey. If you are a restaurant, offer them a free dessert, okay? Or come in for happy hour and your first drink is on the house. Pick something from that. So you get what I'm saying? You find an incentive, but you do that because you want to know what your customer needs, what your customer doesn't appreciate. Because if you're not careful, you can have a beautiful establishment or organization and you can have terrible people working and leading it. And I believe it's every owner's desire to say, one day everybody's going to be working and I don't got to go in and they're going to run the business for me as if I'm there. That's a hope and dream that I hope manifests for every owner. However, you got to know who you have in place. You got to know who's running your business when you're not there. Who's the face of your business? Who's the first person that they come in contact, whether it's physical or whether it's somebody that they actually are talking to on the phone. So who's that lady? Who's that man that's answering that telephone when they call your business or your organization? They are a representation of you. Let me remind you of that. So some of you need to think about that as you build your brand, as you build your business. You want to look at that and say, you know what? Yeah, let me be mindful of that. And don't be afraid of the questions and the things that people are going to want to say, things of that nature. So let me go on. I just had to put that little PSA out there because it was an amazing event and I just had to show some love. I will be doing a full interview about the makeup show, the experience, just all of that. So tonight is the panel discussion. And I saw Dr. Green pull up in the building, Dr. Reynolds. I don't want Mr. Reynolds to choke me out. So we go, because she's married. She's a whole wife. So Dr. Reynolds, I saw her pull up. So I'm going to do her introduction, and we'll also be joined by Kimyana Zanye. And so give you a little overview of this queen before I show you her photo and things of that nature. First of all, she's a mother, and we have something in common. She has three amazing kids, but two of her amazing kids I've known since they were 3 and 5. Okay, so my other son, David, and my only other daughter, well, I will say Ashley and Taylor, and I have another stepdaughter, Labria. But these were my first children, right? Um, love them to pieces. And so she's a wonderful mom. She's a wife. She's a doctor. Okay. She's a doctor, man. And she'll put in that work. Okay. And I always say this. Some people are like, oh, just call me so and so. And I do. When we're out, I'm gonna address you as such. Why? Because you worked your ass off for that. You ain't go to school like it was something to do and you had nothing better else to do, or you like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get up and go in and put in these man hours and behind. You didn't do that. So when you put in that work, you deserve all those letters. I don't care if you got A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't care. I'm gonna take the time to say, okay, and this and this and that and this and you're gonna be looking like, really, CC? Yes, because they have earned it. Okay, yes. And so she's also the CEO of Kareko, which we're going to talk about. We talked about it in and out every now and then. She is a big supporter of TT from the D. Whenever she can get in and slide in, she be up in them comments. I'll be like, let's go. So I'm excited about her coming on board today. And I already knew that I was going to have her on but timing. You never know how things are going to work. Everything has a divine order and you have to align things. And because she's also, her and her husband, they have an organization out in Lansing where they bring in that entertainment. And so it's like they are it's so much to her. It's so much to her. And so, but tonight I'm gonna let her do an introduction so she can tell all her things, right? This is, and people say, well, let me give this shameless plug. Ain't no shame over here. What? You better plug everything. I got time. I'm here for it. I'm like, go ahead, run it down. What you got? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Who gonna check me, boo? Nobody, just my shop. I can do what I want. So let me show you who I'm talking about, because you're like, okay, TT, dang, who you talking about? You talking into, okay. Y'all know how I do. I get carried away. So this is the queen. I'm gonna cut my camera off because nobody care about me. Okay, so this is the queen right here. This is Dr. Karen Reynolds. Okay. And we're going to talk about her organization. There's a lot of questions. Like, you're going to also hear from her. We're also going to do a top of the morning interview. So you'll hear a little bit more detail directly just about her and her organization. Only tonight we're going to share the screen and share the time. I also want to tap in. She'll know about this. She'll not pull this up. She won't be like, really, TT? Yes, I did. I did this. So I want to talk about this. Yeah, I want to talk about this. Three big mistakes most parents make as they send their kids off to college. And you might say, what that got to do with the nonprofit? Because she's an advocate. That's what it got to do with it. And again, what I tell y'all, who gonna check me? Ain't nobody gonna have an attitude. You know why you're not gonna have an attitude? Because we are here to empower one another. When we have businesses and we have brands, it's so important that we share it. You wouldn't know about me if I didn't share my stuff 2,000 times a day. But or people didn't share it, other people didn't share it, or you didn't see me out in the community and doing things, because I'm like a little Jamaican. I do a whole lot of things. So when you know something that's positive, that's giving good vibes, and you do your research and you say, oh, okay, I looked into this and this is legitimate, then you go ahead and you say, let me do my own. And it's not about somebody asking you. You don't have to always ask people. Like when I'm on social media, if I happen to see something I'm perusing through, I'll stop and share something really quick and keep it moving. And sometimes people will ask me about it. I'd be like, I don't really know. Like, I just shared it because it was interesting. You have to reach out to them. So they probably looking like, so why you share stuff? Because I want to. So I just feel like it's important that we do that. So without any further ado, because Dr. Green's in the building. Oh, God, I'm so used to that. Dr. Reynolds. Woo, Mr. Reynolds, don't be coming for me today. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing to the couch. I need to be on her couch so I can tell her my stuff. Okay, anyway, Dr. Reynolds.
Hey, TT.
How are you?
Girl, I'm doing great, girl. I love you. I'm just backstage cracking up. Yes.
I know, right? It's like a whole comedian show. I know. So, firstly, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. I know that you are a very busy person. You do a whole lot, for joining the panel tonight to talk about your nonprofit, as well as we're gonna get into your other entity, your business that you have out there, because we're gonna talk about that too. We got time for it. So I kind of just gave an overview, but I would love for you to tell the viewers a little bit about Dr. Reynolds. She, her, hers. I see. Okay. And explain that too later on as we go through the night.
Okay, I will. Well, hey, TT from the D and all TT supporters. I'm Dr. Karen, and I am so happy to be here today. Just to tell you a little bit about me, I am a patient advocate, a board certified patient advocate. What that means is I am the one that helps you get through all those navigations, having to deal with anything healthcare, whether it's going into the healthcare system, you're already in the system, you don't know what the doctor said, you need to pick the right health insurance, or you need to have some breakthrough conversations and you don't know how to tell your family. That's what I do. And I specialize in LGBTQ and same sex family advocacy as well. So I started all of this because I had some experiences in the health system that I had to go through alone, and I had to just figure it out. And then when my mother took ill, and my mother, I have two moms. So I grew up in a same sex family in the 70s. After my mother divorced, she and her partner decided, you know what, we're going to live as a family. We don't care who don't understand. It doesn't matter. So obviously they did that successfully. So my mother was taken ill. She had lupus. So as she started approaching where it was near the end, where she needed to have more hospitalizations, we experienced some biases, verbal and nonverbal, because of her sexual orientation.
Wow.
And then also, my other mom had to be listed as her sister just so that she could be listed as family. Now, when my mother passed,
Mhm.
there were no same sex marriages. There were no laws protecting any of that. So it was before that time. And mind you, they had already been together 33 years. So if you can just sit back and just put yourself in that place with your loved one, your partner, your everything, your husband, your wife, you're ill. Who is the one that you want by your side?
That's right.
They're taking care of you at home, but when they come to the hospital, it has to be a whole different vibe. So my mother had me and my sister there, and you all know we handled that. Okay. So we handled that. But
Mhm.
there are people who can't handle it, who don't know how to handle it. And there are some people who are alone. So I just vowed to myself, this is not going to happen to another person. They're going to have someone who's going to be there, who's going to fight for them, who's going to fight for their family, to give them the quality of life that they want and they deserve. So my mom's name was Coco. So hence, Kareko Well, our names combined for the wellness of every person, every family, for person centered care. So that's how that got started. But I've been in the healthcare business and community for over 30 years. So my degrees are in management, business management, and health administration. So I know how to align those pieces to make them fit for the best outcome. And much like someone hires a lawyer to navigate that legal system for them,
Right.
that's where I come in to navigate all those health pieces. And those health pieces, they flow over into different aspects of your life. They're going to hit your financial aspects. They're going to hit your family sustainment aspects. They're going to hit your legal aspects. So I incorporate that into all of my advocacy to make sure that what your needs are according to your family dynamic, that is met successfully.
Nice. Nice. I think that a lot of times we're ignorant to things we don't know. If you are a person that's closed minded, you don't know. And then if you're a person that is afraid to walk in living your truth, again, you don't know, because you sweep it under the rug because like you want to deal with it. People don't want to deal with it. And there's so many prejudices out here. I even noticed as my mother started getting older, how people, because if you know me, like, okay, listen, what we're not gonna do is try to talk to my mom any kind of way, okay, or any old
Right.
people. I'm a person, I stand up for people. Like I'm an empath and I like people. So I could be out somewhere, somebody being, I'd be like, oh, what? Why you gotta say like that? So it's like it's not my business, but I'm gonna make it my business, right?
Mhm.
So it's almost like a voice, your voice there, because a lot of times when you're going through, it's already emotional when
Mhm.
you are dealing with someone who is ill, um, alone. If you got someone who's older, so like you said, the LGBTQT,
LGBTQ. Yep.
LGBT, I get okay.
It's a lot of letters.
It's a lot of letters, and then they added some more. One of my friends, like, I'm like, I'm trying to still get this. I love everybody, so I'm like,
That's
whatever,
right.
and I'm trying to learn because I don't want to be ignorant to it. Family, we have family and close friends that have been living their life how they choose to, and we love them just where they are. So it doesn't matter. They don't need letters. Like they're gonna be like, well, they're part of that. What family? They're part of this family. Period.
That's right.
And again, who gonna say something? And if you got something to say, I'm like, I'm at that front line with you. Like what? So having someone like you in place at that place when you're in a hospital and your emotions, you ain't thinking about that. You already hurt. So then people want to insult you. They want to offend you. They don't want to
dismiss you,
mistreat you, because there's nobody there. There's laws that's supposed to protect people no matter what. And when we don't know the laws, that's where people like you come in place. It's like, no, yes, they can. And then it's like, some of the people that think they're enforcing the laws, I do the air quotes because that's more like ignorance. People get on my nerves with that. They come in, well, you can't do that. And I'm quick to say, can you show me that in writing? Where's that in writing? Show me that. Well, it's a law. Okay. If you can't show me in a binder, let's go to a computer and you pull that up for me. Because other than that, I'm going to need you to go on over there. And people are quick to say that just because they work somewhere. And it's like, I never will tell you something that I don't have a way of proving it to you. I want to know. And then even if I know, and I might not have it right there, because you can catch me out in the street somewhere. Well, what about so-and-so? What's these things? They call smartphones, right? They call smartphones. That's so you pull that boy open and you show people. But people don't do that. So I can only fathom what you deal with. Like you're full of knowledge, because there's been plenty of times you've tapped in on our Tap In Tuesdays and people are saying different things and it'd be like over the mountain. Cause I'm like, what? I don't know. And then you'll be like, boop, 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 boop. I'm like, okay, so Karen said so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. And then they'll be like, okay, well, what was, I'm like, okay, they said so-and-so. It's almost like sometimes I need to just have you as a co-host. Like, okay, Karen, so what you think about that? And so go ahead and take that question, because I don't know about that. So when we do different things, like it would have been amazing to have you on when I did the campaign. I was a part of the campaign panel when MNA, Michigan Nonprofit Association, brought in, hey, look, Dr. Karen is a maverick.
Hey, Rocky.
Yes, I love her. I love Rocky.
I do too.
So when you are able to filter in information, it's like, that's what we need. And so you sit there and you can walk into any room and take your seat at the table, whether it's on the educated side and that's what you ooze, or it's on the socialite side. And I brought that up because I want to go over there.
Okay.
I want to go there for a little minute.
Okay, so yes, so in Lansing, my husband and I, we started a company, Lansing Social Elite. Yeah. And we started this because, he's naturally from Cleveland. I'm from the D. We're here in Lansing. And we're like, why does it seem every time we want to go enjoy something, we have to leave our city, to go have some fun? So we said, no, not anymore. So we decided that we would bring elite entertainment to Lansing to keep our residents who want to have some fun, good fun, safe fun, and just have that excitement of a night out that they don't have to leave their hometown. So we started that last year in July when we brought Beth up here. We brought Swifty McVeigh up here and Evrod Cassimy. Yes. And we have a time.
Yes.
It was so lovely. It was intimate. They were able to mingle with the crowds. It was wonderful. So now this year, we're having a pre-Mother's Day Night of Elegance, and we're bringing in a gentleman from Houston, Texas, called Dominique Hammonds and his violin.
Okay.
When I tell you, you have not experienced a party until you have someone on an electric violin in the crowd playing all your jams. Okay. Yeah. And so that's what we're bringing up here for a pre-Mother's Day celebration on May 11th. And the flyer is on our Lansing Social Elite website. You can go there. There's a QR code and a phone number there for you to get the tickets. We would love to have you because I'm gonna have a good time, just like I did when Beth. I love having a good time to somebody.
We partied. I think we partied when it was over. We still was out there hustling and
We sure were. Oh, we had a time, and it was the
yes.
day before my birthday.
Yes, I remember. Yeah, you got your party on early,
I
15.
most certainly did, and people they drove in from everywhere, and it was absolutely wonderful. So we're doing more of those things, and we have some surprises in the future because we have some twists on some things. But what you can guarantee is the entertainment is gonna always be fire, always.
I hear that. And we had an amazing time when we came out. Even I was in work mode when I came out. I still had the opportunity. It was beautiful. Like that setting where you had that event was everything.
Oh, yes, it was at the Hope Sports Complex. She had a nice outdoor space. They had never had a stage built there before. We built a stage for that event. You
Oh,
know,
that was a dope stage.
we had to have everything, everything perfect. So, you know, we were learning, but I tapped in, you get those contracts, you see
Yeah,
what they need, what you can
yeah,
accommodate, you talk to people
yeah,
and you make it happen.
yeah.
It may have been pulled off like it was an easy event. It was a lot of hard work, but we love it. We
Awesome.
absolutely love it.
I'm glad. We had a great time. I know Beth had the band, everybody did a great job, but Beth enjoyed it. Everard had a good time. Swift had a good time. It was like a nice, like you said, intimate. It was fun. It was adult vibes. It was the setting, like outdoors. Like I
It
was
was
surprised
beautiful.
I didn't get bit by one mosquito that night.
Not one.
Not
We had she told us, she said, I was like, what about bugs? She said, oh, I'm gonna spray, I'm gonna have this out, I'm gonna have that out.
one.
And
Mhm.
they served the VIP with their plated meals. It
Yeah.
it was
And everything was
it
good.
was it was incredible.
I was happy
Food.
after I was done working to be able to get a libation because I don't have the libations while I'm working. But
Mhm.
I was there. Let me see, who did I come? I came working with Beth that night. And it was just, Evrod was there. He didn't really need anything. Swift was there. But it was like after they did they do, it was like, let's go. So it was a fun time. I had to put that out there because that's another one of your things that you do. Um Now I know that Kimyana Zanye has pulled up. She is going to be joining us. And I want to go back to this. I got to show this because I want you to talk about this because I
Okay.
saw it on your site and I said, "Is this yours?" This right where we at? Where we go? Let's get here. Navigation City, right here.
Oh, yes, that is definitely mine. That is
Okay,
definitely mine. I'm
okay.
glad that you pulled that up. This is something that I did because working in the patient access, the emergency rooms for various trauma centers,
Hmm.
and they were near college campuses. When I tell you these young adults come into the emergency room, they don't have a clue as to how to speak to the doctors, what their insurance is. Some of
Hmm.
them didn't even know their parents' full names.
Oh,
And the heartbreaking part is some students came in and they were seriously ill.
mm,
Their parents would call and we could not tell them anything because they were not listed on their record.
Lord mercy.
So this is actually a free assessment. It's free. It's downloadable and it's free. And what it is, I asked a series of questions to parents to see how they had prepared their child to manage this new adult world without them.
Yeah.
Because they get this superpower when they turn 18. The law says they don't have to tell you a thing, but you get to pay for it.
Hmm.
Pay for their
Yeah.
health insurance, but they
Yeah.
have to tell you what you could know.
Yeah.
You can pay for their college, but you can't get their grades.
They can pay.
So
They can
imagine
pay that bill.
I
Be like,
just I just want you to think about what you did when you went to college.
mm.
Think about what you
I
did.
was old though, Karen. That don't count. Because when I first went to college, I forfeited my little scholarship because I thought I was grown. And I was like, yeah, I didn't get along with the professor. So I didn't know you could switch classes, but whatever. So like that, I was like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna do some different things. But this group, you know, when you send your kids off to college now,
It's
there's
heart-
so much, first of all, not
Can we
only,
talk about the shooting at MSU? Can we talk about that?
you know what, it that's another,
It's a
we're gonna talk
nightmare.
about that. I'm gonna do another show, and we're
Mhm.
gonna, because there's also a young man, and I'm trying to get an interview with his mother. The young man that was, I forgot which college it was, but he was an only child, and his mother let him go off to college, and he got stabbed to death. And they haven't made any arrests. They know the story, but it's kind of like wow. And so yeah, but anyway, we ain't going there because that's a whole nother.
Right, but when we get back to that
Yes,
piece,
yes,
it's
yes,
to help the parents see
yes.
how they have prepared their child, and we're talking about before they even get there. When you select colleges,
Mm-hmm.
how many of you check out what health systems are in the area before you send your child off to the college?
When Markel went, I didn't. Markel knew the insurance
Right. But
information.
it's key aspects because Markel goes to a party. The true story. Kid went to a party, stepped off the curb drunk, got hit by a car. Both her parents were out of town. We could not tell them anything over the phone of what happened to their daughter. She was unable to give consent. So the medical team had to do the best with consent. And those friends she was partying with, many of them didn't know her. One of the friends had to come back and say who she was and give a name, but they were still not listed as emergency contacts. So
Mhm.
these are things that no, we don't think about when we go off to college. So I give them a free assessment. They take the assessment, they call me, and we talk about what we need to do to make sure that their child is prepared and they won't have to go through the nightmares.
Yeah. Well, I salute you on that. And Rocky, uh, her baby girl is at Spelman. And so she said she made sure that she has copies of the insurance cards. I know that's right, Rocky. That's one thing I did. I
Right,
did
but
do.
do they understand what that means? Do they understand that sometimes you can go to an urgent care instead of an emergency room? Do they
Mhm,
understand that they can go to out-of-network physicians? All
mhm.
healthcare can't be met on campus. Where are your cars accepted?
Yeah.
So I take you through the whole thing so that you can rest assured your child will be fine. And if your child is one of those kids, I don't want to tell you because there's some things I don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Put Dr. Karen down and they'll call me and I'll make sure care is not delayed for them.
Okay, come on through now. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm grateful for your nonprofit organization, and I hope that you get a lot of the monies that's coming this year, next year, every year, whenever there's funding. You know, especially here in the state of Michigan, because there's a lot that we're trying to do. And one thing is, some nonprofits. What I'm learning as I've been seeking out different nonprofits, trying to find it, a lot of them are not aware that there's funding out there for them like that, and they
Oh,
get discouraged. I was trying to bring on Dr. Darnisha Calvin tonight as well, but she had a conflict because she had a counseling session at 8 o'clock. But I'll be bringing her on again, and when I do the panel in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna have you come back, Karen. So
okay. I wanted to clear up too, TT, because I got a question.
yes.
We're talking about two. I have two arms of my company.
Hmm.
Kareko Well is the for-profit arm that program is offered through, but there is also a nonprofit arm called the Kareko Well Foundation.
Hmm.
Now, with the foundation, the mission is a little different in that one. So, for instance, a leader of a family has a chronic illness.
Hmm.
Okay. Most of the time, when you have chronic illnesses, the help that you get, sometimes you can't be working or it's all income based. Well,
Okay.
with my program, you can be working and get assistance. And what the assistance will come in the form of allowing you to be able to take time off work, because if you do, it's unpaid, or allowing you to give your children a sense of normalcy. They can still go to prom. They can still do their activities. They can still pay for the college apps. Because a lot of times when we experience those chronic illnesses, our dollars go off to medications, to caregivers. But this way, we can achieve the family sustainment and health equity to help you to continue to participate in your care. And your children can have a sense of normalcy while they're going through that. And you can just rest maybe a couple of weeks and say, I'm going to take this week off work. And the foundation has been able to support you financially to make sure your utilities or your mortgage so that you don't suffer financially in addition to your health crisis.
I love that. That's dope. And I really hope that you're able to get your nonprofit connected to a lot of school districts because there's always families in need. I remember before I left Southfield Public Schools, there were some twins, and oh my God, on their birthday, their father was on his way to take them some cupcakes, and he went to his car, and somebody said, "So, hey, what happened?" He fell out, had a heart attack, and died right outside the school door. And it was devastating. It was on those children's birthday. Their mother had also passed away not too long before. So it was kind of like the community, it started, within our district, they wrapped their arms around them children. And it was one of those, who's the next of kin? We had to get in, start calling people. There was like, do you know? And it was sad because it was like our district loved them children, like they loved the kids, and so they were like, how can we keep these kids together? Because the first thing people do is try to tear you apart, rip you apart.
They do.
So, but we ended up getting some relatives, but just that is, you don't know who to call. You don't know what to do. This person didn't have a wife or a significant other. There was nobody that we could like, who do we call? Like, you go through the person's wallet, like, what?
I tell you, you call Dr. Karen, because in my program, you will have all that stuff prepared. Because those are the type of health crisis where it's left on the burden of the family.
Yeah.
And we tend to be reactive in our health crisis rather than proactive. So I'm promoting the informed decision making to inform of what needs to be in place. So if something like that happens, you'll have a card, you'll have that K logo, they'll call me and I'll know who to call because I've helped them set it up.
Cool. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, y'all ain't had Dr. Karen Reynolds, and she had laid it out there, baby. Y'all, if y'all got some questions, you better go ahead and shoot them in there. But you see running across the website down below, scrolling across the screen. My next guest that I'm going to add to our panel is an amazing serial entrepreneur. She's also she's my very first official client. So shout out to Kimyana Zanye, because when I started Kareko Enterprises, it was just like, okay, I knew what I wanted to do. And I've worked with people. I work with a lot of different people. But it was just like, it was a referral. And so I remember, it's funny how you could do a 360 in life, because when I first saw this woman, I saw her at an event. I was a stage manager, and she brought her band, and doing her sound check, I said, well, damn, I was on I remember, I ain't got no headphones on here. I wish I could. I wish I had my headphones on here. I could show you. I had my headphones on, and then she started singing. I took my headphones off. I was like, what who is that? I said, who is that? So I went out there. So I kind of went on, because we were just doing sound check. I actually went and got in a seat. So I was like, I'm like, oh shit. Right. And then she was dressed fly. I was like, okay, who is that? You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay. So later in life, a mutual friend of ours, she said, I hope you don't mind, but she said, I got a good friend, and she busy as hell. She always doing this, that, being here, being there. She said, you need an assistant. And she's like, I do, but I ain't got time to find one. And she said, I know somebody that probably you could reach out to. And so when I tell you, yeah, her life is all over the place, but she makes time. And one of the things I loved when it was my first year working with her, this nonprofit piece of her life is her baby, and she loves it. And so when I saw, because you get people, y'all know how it is. People, everybody want to do something when it's that time, but and then you don't really do nothing. Like you know, we can all put a bag in the office or give me this, let me go to the dollar store, get stuff. We can do some stuff, but she puts in the work. She puts in the time, and she's personable with it. And so she's also, well, like, I know y'all gonna say again, just like I did with Karen, y'all be like, who you talking about? Yeah, okay, so I love this. Okay, so I know she gonna kill me because she told me I can get what picture I wanted. And I, on my promo flyer, I did the right thing, but on here, I did this because I wanted to. Like, I love this. So in this, it says, be a reflection of what you like to see in others. If you want love, give love. If you want honesty, give honesty. If you want respect, give respect. You get in return what you give, right? And I always think she's like a little Cherokee Indian right there. But anyway, so yeah, she's so pretty. I love her little eyes. But yeah, so she's also author. She's a chef. She do a Karen, actually, you know, see, I'm gonna make her talk about this. I know we in here talking about our nonprofits and stuff, but we're gonna talk about it because, see, this is another great thing when we do panel discussions. You have the opportunity to network. You have a social club in Lansing. Right. Kimyana is an amazing artist, and Kimyana also is a chef. She's an amazing chef. And so you just, you know, we network, we politics. So anyway, let me, girl, just wait till she come in here. Okay, so yeah, she's gonna kill me, but it's okay. So without any further ado, let me say this, okay, because I love her children, because you see where I be doing the most. I be doing the most. Okay, so she's also an awesome mom. She has 3 amazing kids, and she got 2 beautiful grandbabies, right? And so I'm just like, she does a lot, and she still manages to balance it out. She's all about empowering. She's forever like supporting somebody. Even if she can't come out to something, she'll buy a ticket. She don't even know what she be buying tickets to sometimes. She'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a ticket. I'm just show support. She don't know. She just be like, I'm supporting. That's all she knows is to support. And she tried, like today, she was like, I gotta do this, that. I know she do. Yeah, because I don't manage her calendar like I used to because I've been doing a lot more. So we're gonna try to tighten some things up. But I already knew before I even probably could still look, but I said, shit, I already know she probably doing 5,000 things today. But I knew if she could, like you, if you could slide and pull through, come through. And she said, I probably could tap in whenever you can arrive, Queen, is fine with me, right? Because I know how she is. So anyway, let me say, I had to say that really quick. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to bring to the room Kimyana Zanye.
You know what? I am going to kill you. I love it. I appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Hello, Miss Karen. Hey, TT.
Hello.
Y'all know I do. They don't even try. I said, I'm about to get all this stuff as much as I can. Yeah. They love it. I'm glad I tapped in. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got my tired face on. This is, my no makeup, nothing. This is Kimyana Zanye, raw and in the flesh. Okay.
We come as we are, and you're still beautiful anyway. Doesn't matter. So, as I had said earlier, phenomenal women. Rocky, you too. Rocky, Rocky is too a big supporter of everything and everybody. Like, she'll turn you on and connect you, and just without people, some people just be like, what's in it for me? I'm so glad that I rock with people that's not like that, because I turn people onto other things, and I'm not looking for what's for me. You asked me if I know somebody, let me see. Oh yeah, what about, okay, let me connect you, and then I go on about my business, right? That's all I'm supposed to do. So before we jump into breaking down your nonprofit, Kimyana, can you please tell the viewers that may have just joined or will join later a little bit about who you are?
Well, I think you did a really good job. I'm not sure of more that I can say. Simply put, I'm someone that I love people. I love being able to help people bring their dreams and goals and aspirations to pass. that was something that I wasn't really afforded, I guess, if you will. I kind of had to do it, boots to the ground up, in the trenches, get it on my own. So this year alone, for me, is about collaborative efforts and partnerships with people that are interested. And whether it's taking their business, their dreams, their goals, their ministry, whatever it is, to the next level. That's, what I'm looking to do. That's pretty much who I am. I just told somebody the other day that I will be an entrepreneur till I die. I realized probably back about 12 or 13 years ago that while I was working in corporate America, that it really wasn't for me, though I was very good at it. My background is in accounting. The whole time I would be there, I would be thinking about doing something that was entrepreneurial based. I'd be thinking about catering. I'd be thinking about being in the studio, et cetera, et cetera. So I realized that I am that person that will probably never work for someone ever again in life. And I empower others to that are interested and want to do it, or maybe even afraid to do it, to, jump out there and do the same. It's not an easy feat, but, for those of us that really want to do it, we just keep working at it, and eventually we get to the goal and where we're trying to go.
Amen. I like how you just humbly broke that down. Like you just kind of, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So, because there's a lot of levels too.
I didn't want to go back over what you had already said about me being a mother and, all of that good stuff. And, I appreciate you, TT. I was wondering who the hell you was talking about actually, but, but it's all,
Look at Rocky. She said, "Lord, I'm on my way."
I've been on Rocky head too. She know. Everybody that if I cross paths with people that are interested in doing whatever it is they're interested in doing, I'm always trying to empower them to do it, because the reality of it is that what are you waiting on? You can't wait for a perfect time to do something, whatever it is, because there is no such thing as a perfect time. There is, and again, that is left up to perspective too. Like, your perfect time might not be the same as my perfect time, et cetera, et cetera. So there is not really a such thing as there's this perfect time to do whatever it is. Just do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole another, I can go on a whole tangent about that, but we're here about nonprofit. So let's talk nonprofit.
You said, love that. Hashtag entrepreneur till I die.
Absolutely.
I love that for a shirt. Yeah.
I'm working on that. Okay. You'll be able to buy one real soon.
Okay. and in the great words of Courtney, Rocky said church. So,
right.
Tell us about your nonprofit. I just kind of gave us a little pebble. I didn't even break it down, because you have a nonprofit and you have two pieces.
Yes, actually, there's three, but we'll talk about. So there's three. There's Heart to Heart Community Development, and then there's BU Community Development Corporation as well. And the spinoff of that is what you have been a part of for the past few years, which is our Joy of Giving piece. Yes. And the Joy of Giving is something that we do. We just kind of transitioned to doing it all year round. It originally started as something we were doing for the holiday for Christmas, and we collaborated with organizations that benefited children that had lost their parents due to some type of tragedy. We've also benefited, domestic violence organizations, et cetera, et cetera. So this past year, we have kind of transitioned to doing things outside of that, doing things for the homeless, doing things for, there's a group called a nonprofit called SMASH. And I know I'm going to butcher it, but I think it's Mothers Are Superheroes is what it stands for. It's called SMASH. Mothers Are Superheroes. And so we've done stuff with them collaboratively, but the reality of it is every time that we do it, we try to make it a big deal, where we're giving back, but our give back to the people that are giving back is that musically we put on this concert that is free. So for every donation or every person that donates something, they get to come to this concert where all types of artists from all different places come together. And we pretty much just say thank you for all of your donations, your love, your support. And so, that's kind of the nuts and bolts of it in a short version.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think for both of you ladies to have these nonprofits, first of all, women rule. We rock. We do. And fellas, y'all know we do. Because where would the world be without us? What?
Right.
So, anyway.
Well, a whole another sermon. That's why God created Eve out of Adam's rib, right? So if
y'all know
it don't work right. They keep trying it if they want to, but it's not gonna work.
I feel that we have passions, and I think a lot of this comes from what we, like you said earlier, Karen, you were affected in a different way because you saw how your mothers were treated, right? And so that inspired you to say, you know what, this will not happen to anybody else on my watch. Kimyana, you come from a different perspective where this wasn't given to me. So I went to get it, but I want to show people how to get it. And they don't have to worry about, okay, I didn't have this, I couldn't get this.
Well, some of that is accurate, but the other part of it is that people don't know. And one of the things that I think is interesting about this year for me is I've kind of played it safe when it comes to talking about my life, if you will. So some of that is true and some of it isn't. My background is interesting. Both of my parents were addicts. So there were times that I did not have. I remember a Christmas specifically, and really that's how I got into the joy of giving and doing the toy drive. I remember a Christmas specifically where I had Christmas gifts and we saw the Christmas gifts, and then 2 days later, those Christmas gifts were gone. So, the reality of that is I didn't want any children to be in a place where they didn't have, or even if they had just this one toy or two toys or whatever it was. And part of that was because of things that I experienced as a child. So I think we all tend to kind of tie in our history of, how we grew up, into the things that we end up doing as an adult, whether that's how we live, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if I put this in my book or not. I think it is in my book, but really the reality is whatever you've experienced between the ages of 7 and 12, it tends to kind of mold who you become as an adult, right? And so when that happens, whatever has happened to you in that time frame, it either you do one or two things. You either become that or you do the complete opposite. And so for me, I just wanted to make sure that, my kids and any other kids or people, et cetera, didn't experience some of the same things that I experienced.
Yeah, that's good. It's about, you tend to tap in what you do well naturally, but some of us, we don't know until an experience happens and we sit back and we think about the cycles and the ups and downs and the challenges in our lives. And then we realize there are some things that we just do naturally that are innate in us. And that is our skill.
Right.
And, and that's the best thing to come into the entrepreneurial world with when you understand that.
Yeah, exactly. So
I agree. I think that a lot of times we also take things that seem to be hobbies and we turn them into, like AL Naturals. She has a whole hair care line, and she said that's awesome for what you guys are saying. I'm going to bring her on. It's like we have a lot of stuff we can do, we learn, and I'm interested in knowing, like, okay, how and why do we do what we do? The mind is a powerful tool, and you use it or you don't. And we have so much power that I don't think we activate it quite often, or we allow others to tell us how to activate it. Like they tell you, our parents tell us what we're gonna be. Like I told Cody what he was gonna be. Like after he told me what he wanted to be, I keep telling him what you gonna do. Then as he got older, he's like, well, I still want to be a doctor, but I think I also want to play basketball. I was like, okay, so what you're gonna do is go to school to be a doctor and play basketball. And then, you can make the two. So it's kind of like, I remember being a kid and my mother telling me what I was gonna do. And it ain't what I was gonna do, and it ain't what I did. But it was just like, she just wanted me. And I think a lot of times we just want our kids to be better people than we are. You should, right? I mean, we can ourselves and saying, I'm doing pretty good. But we want our children, our offsprings, to be one, sufficient to be able to survive in this world when we're no longer here. Even when we're here, because ain't nobody trying to take care of no grown ass person, right? So yeah, get on out there and
we don't have to.
Okay. And so, but we really want to make sure that we pass on generational tools. Like, Kimyana, I know her children, they're all adults, they're all grown, they're all doing great. And she extends the opportunity if they want to be a part of her businesses. But you said something, Kimyana, and I didn't even address it when we were talking.
Yeah.
I don't want them to think they have to do the business.
Right.
Because it's my business.
Right.
A lot of parents don't feel like that. Oh, you gonna do this. I work, you go. It's like, that's your dream. That ain't my damn dream. Right. I gotta do that. So yeah, much love to you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to allow our kids to be their own person. I mean, everybody, I would think that any decent parent would want their child to be successful, right? And sometimes they'll carry on the legacy and take the baton if it's something worth carrying on, but sometimes they don't. So in that, we just want to be supportive of whatever they're doing, as long as, it's not something that's, too too out there, but
too risque.
Yeah. Even in that, you know what I'm saying? The reality is that, so one of the things I wanted to kind of go back to that you said, and I think there was something when you were talking about your parents wanting you to do certain things, kind of forcing you to do certain things, or I mean, we're like sponges as people, especially as children. So we'll kind of take on whatever it is that we're being fed, we're being told, or, whatever. But the reality of it is that there's a piece in there that we never really talk about, and that's fear. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes you might have all of these things that you may be able to do, or you've been told that you're going to do, but then there's a fear factor that never gets addressed. I've had conversations with people that are afraid of being successful.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, and the fear of being successful is probably a lot. If you put 10 people in the room, there's probably half of those people that are really afraid of being successful. So, that's a whole nother segment. And
it is, because I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I know that talking with your children is one thing, but also listening to them. Kids are very, very smart. Mm-hmm. I know to this day, I am thankful for all of my parents, because when I tell you I wanted to start my business, and I told my father, the first thing he did, right? I had to bob and weave and stay on my square, because he came at me with the questions, and he does that all the time because he wants to make sure that you have confidently made this decision, because everybody's not going to like it. They're not going to understand it. It's going to be up to you to see how to do it, to visualize it. And he came at me, and he has done that all of my life. That's why out there in those streets, can nobody tell me anything I hadn't heard at home. You will not break me. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did for my children. They're really all entrepreneurs, and I love it. And they're moving very nicely in this world as they approach and enter their 30s, and it's the conversations and the what you say and how you listen and their response. But ultimately, they want your support. I'll
Mhm.
give my support, but my support is going to come with me talking. My support is going to come with me giving you advice and instructions. And my support is going to come to you in the way of, I expect you to deliver at the top of your game every time. I don't
Time.
care what it is.
Every single time. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Absolutely. If you're not gonna do it with excellence, don't do it at all.
That's right. And integrity, because you got to do the right thing when nobody's looking. That
Ooh,
takes
you better say that. I was talking about that before y'all got on here. Always. And when you got people representing your brand,
Mhm.
how are they representing your brand? Of course, they're gonna do the pony and dance show in front of your face, but what about when you're not around? And I said some people need to have these moments where they pop up because you lose business. Sometimes you kind of wondering why. It's like, okay, this is the first person to answer the phone of your organization. And it was like, hello? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. Is this a place of business or not across my house? Like, what? Yeah. Oh, let me make up a call back. Or you pull up, good morning. Can I? Hello. How can I help you? Okay, I'm pulling off. I ain't you about to make myself look. No, no. So I'm like, people just don't think about that. And we get into these organizations and our nonprofits, and you could have a good mission, you can have a really good thing going, but who's working for you? Who's out there spreading the word for you? Who are the people that's on your team? And so brings me
Well,
to
or
this.
it could be just you, period. Because sometimes, so here's the other thing that
Oh,
you have to know is
uh,
that if you might have all of this and it could be your dream and it's a great dream, but
yeah.
are you the person that should be the actual face of it if you don't have the proper,
Mm.
ethics and all of that stuff to do it? Because that's a reality too. And it's no shade, but it's just a reality. Sometimes you have to say, you know what, I'm not really good at dealing with people, but I want to do this, so I need to hire XYZ to do this. Or I'm not really good at this, so I need to get somebody to do this for me. And that's
I,
the
I,
reality. I answer my phone, to your point. I have probably 2 or 3 phones, and I answer all of them. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It doesn't matter to me who's calling. And I'm sure some people probably feel some kind of way about it, but at the end of the day, it's a way for me to make sure that no matter who's calling, it sounds professional.
that's right.
Absolutely.
So
I've
it's,
had,
you
yeah,
know,
I've had to go and make a huge investment. When you start your businesses, a lot of times we're already working.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the fact of the matter is, sometimes there's just not enough hours in the day to do everything. And I remember sitting in a room, with millionaires from other things that I have done. And the advice that was given to me, start what you want. You hire the people who have the expertise to execute.
mm-hmm.
So in my business, I know that I do a lot of things well, but this is a whole different animal right here. I can't focus on clients if I have to do the 20 things behind me. So one of the first things I did was I hired an answering service. They
Mm-hmm.
were answering my phone calls 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they also have the links to schedule my appointments. That way, I know that they're getting someone who's going to answer the phone timely. They've been instructed on what to say, so it's scripted and they will be scheduled. So it's none of this, well, let me call you back. Oh, I got your text message or this and that. Now, if you happen to call my cell phone, we may do some of that, but
Right.
the clients, they're going to be taken care of because I have to serve excellence. I won't have it any other way.
I agree. I can say this, and if it's not accurate, Kimyana, you can say, "Woo." So when I was working really, really directly with Kimyana, one of her facilities she had, it got to the point where she taught me how to show the property. So I could go and open up and show the people. And People always want to know, they want to talk to the CEO. They always want to talk to CEO. Okay, that's good. That's great. No problem. But I'm representing the CEO. And so I already know what we can do, what we can't do. If it's worthy of me interrupting her or it's not. I know when she's going to say it's a hard no. Okay, so there's no need for me to make this call. I already know the answer to that. And so, but I do it with kindness. And no one could ever have told her, your assistant rude as hell. Hell no. In the streets, I can be like, DT can be, but it's like when I'm professional representing even my brand or people, I could be talking, have a whole conversation in my head. I'm about to choke this motherfucker out. And I know y'all, some of y'all live like, oh my God, the language. Come on now. Come on. So anyway, so it's just etiquette, right? I'm gonna always meet you the right way. I'm gonna always meet you the right way. But when you come into contact, and I think we get lost in that. You got people that's in your business. And just think about this. If Kimyana, for an example, now I'll give an example for you too, Karen. If Kimyana with, for example, the Joy of Giving, her amazing event she does, if she had rude people when these families are coming, or we're going out, because we would go to them and wrap the gifts and all that. And so, and go and distribute, pick up the stuff. But think about it, or even carefully choosing your place where you will say, this is a location where you could drop off your gift. That got to be vetted, because you don't want them walking into an organization, they open the door and weed smoke hit them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now you're going to be like, okay, I know this is one of the drop-off places, but who is Kimyana connected to? You know what I'm saying? So, or if she got somebody that's wrapping gifts and doing stuff, it's kind of like, they don't care. And it's like, okay, you shouldn't wrap. I don't care. It's getting wrapped. It's like, oh, like, no, the whole vibe is off. On the other side, for Karen, you're dealing with patient advocacy and things of that nature. So if you got people that's already ill and they already don't know what to do and they're lost and they're looking for help, if you got an advocate that works for your nonprofit and they're coming off, I mean, you ain't filled that out yet. How long does it take? Okay, you know what? I mean, did you read it? It's like, and that's how the people in the hospitals be talking sometimes. And sometimes you gotta beef up security in your spirit. Like, hold on, player. 1 second. I don't like the way you're talking to me. So maybe somebody else should talk to me, because you're not even trying to help me. And we're not gonna get anywhere with that. But if you vet your people, you ain't got to worry about that. And I take it that your nonprofits are successful because not only who is the leader, which you lead yours and you lead yours, but the people you pull on your team. Now, I do have to ask you guys a question. Now, what was the biggest obstacle, Karen, that you had when you started your nonprofit?
Understanding that it required actually 2 different entities that were very detailed. It required the state part of it to incorporate. And then the other piece was a whole nother animal with the 501c3 application, because some of those requirements you had to have in your articles too. So it's very cumbersome how you're writing and your delivery, because you don't want to be so narrow that it locks you in to a specific thing, because you do have to do the work and the activities that you say you're going to do on that form, or else they'll be considered unrelated activities. So that was the hardest part, getting all that writing and those aspects down, down packed for those applications. I had to retrain my brain, because I'm so detailed oriented. So I had to really train my brain to write so that people will understand what I'm saying without these long, elaborate sentences, but still hit my mission. And then I struggle with the reality of, you could grow so big and you have to create this nonprofit board with these bylaws. And one day you could actually not be the leader of your own nonprofit if you don't build it correctly. So those things were some of the hardest challenges for me.
Kimyana, what was your biggest challenge with your nonprofit?
Um, I think, to be transparent, probably the biggest challenge for me in the beginning was we were giving to an organization that we realized was not actually doing what they said they were doing.
Mm,
And so that was probably the most difficult part, because I had to kind of restructure and just kind of take a step back. And that's how I actually started doing the event, doing the Joy of Giving the way that I started to do it, because I wanted to make sure that these families and these people were actually benefiting and getting what it was that we had set out for them to get. So I had to restructure. I had to make sure certain things were documented, all of those kinds of things. And so that probably was the most difficult part for me. And without, putting out the organization, I was very surprised, because I called myself picking a large organization, because that's quote unquote what we do, because they have this name, right? So you pick this organization to benefit or partner with or whatever because of their name and because of, what you think they've been doing, until you find out that they're not doing that. So that probably was I would say that was my biggest challenge.
Okay. Now, what is, if you were able to, like with Michigan Nonprofit Association, they have this $35 million that they have in a relief fund. So if people go, those of you that are listening, and you have a nonprofit, you can go to www.minonprofitrelief.org and get a lot of information from there to get your hands on some of that money, because it's here for you. And the application process is lengthy. From what I understand, there's some struggles. They have a virtual office. There's a link on my page as far as with the postings, as I'm working a part of the campaign team to make sure that we get this information out there the right way. But if I was to ask you, ladies, what is something that your organization could really use outside of money?
Outside of money.
Outside of money.
That's a hard one.
I know. Because
money
money
gets you everything.
Yeah.
Right. Outside of money.
Would it be, here's an example. Oh, go ahead, Karen.
I know definitely what I could use is the exposure, the marketing exposure of it.
I'll say.
I can definitely use that. Then I can also use resources to vet some collaborators for some of the initiatives, like volunteers, being online and being global. I'll need boots on the ground in other areas in other states, because this just isn't a nonprofit that's locally. Everyone needs these help. So it's about having the team or the volunteers that we could actually train to be able to go out and speak on it. Not just come, because some people with health conditions, they're not trying to get on the computer. They're not trying to do a lot of those things, just to get out and speak about it everywhere. And once having that exposure and people are knowing what you're doing, I believe that those type of donation things will, they'll come, because people will believe in the initiative, and the word of mouth spread is powerful.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would probably be the same for me as far as, marketing, but not only just that same equivalency would be the volunteers, the time, we money is definitely not everything. Donating your time is sometimes, more than anything financially you could get, because the time is what some of these, families need. They need, someone that'll pick them up and drop the kids off at school. You got all these different aspects of it that you can, be pouring into. So I would say that would be the same thing for me.
So I'm kidnapped y'all over my hour. I know, right?
Is it? Oh my God, I love it.
Y'all know how I can do. So I got y'all like, okay.
Okay.
But so before we close our segment for this part one, I want you to each let the viewers know how they can sow a seed if they would like to make a donation to your organization.
Mhm.
Your social media connections, how they can connect with you to keep up with what you're doing also.
So I'll go first because mine's probably the shortest. Um, you can always, there is a link on kimyanazanye.com that it's a nonprofit link that will take you to information about the Joy of Giving. You can also donate through Cash App to Give Joy 2023. Um, and every year changes by the year. So this year's Give Joy 2023. Next year we Give Joy 2024. But anyway, so you can donate there, and you can just always follow me on any of my social media platforms, and we always share it there. There will be some things that'll be shifting this year, a whole lot of things. So just keep your eyes and ears out and open for all of those things.
Okay,
Dr.
great.
Reynolds.
Yes. So all of my handles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they're all Kareko, which is a very unique name. But I like to do those personable interactions, just so you can know the side of me that you'll see as we work together. So you can find me on Facebook at Karen Green Reynolds. That's green with 3 E's. And on Facebook, I'm at Carry On, KARI underscore on underscore. And while my 501c3 nonprofit application is underway, I welcome you to please go to my website at www.karekowell.com. At the bottom, you will see where you can get your email so you can sign up for emails and newsletters, because that's one of the ways that I will reach out to keep you informed about the nonprofit. And always feel free to send my email at info at karekowell.com. That's KAREKOWELL.com.
And one last piece, now that we've gotten that out the way, I know you both do. So can you let the viewers know what you have coming up next?
You mean from a nonprofit perspective or just
In
period?
the whole life. Like what's coming up
Oh.
next in the next couple weeks, couple days? Like what do you have coming up?
Well, I am in the process of opening a cafe that will be located in Detroit. I literally just announced it officially on my Instagram and Facebook, on my social media platforms. It is called the Waffle Cafe Detroit. So that's probably one of the things that is happening really, really soon. It'll be grand opening will be in June. So we're excited. I'm looking forward to it. Not to go into a whole lot of details, but just keep your eyes and ears open. We've got Larry's like, tell them about it. But so it's gonna be great. There'll be, the funny thing is that we'll be tying some nonprofit things into that eventually as well, because both myself and my partner are connected with nonprofits. We have our own nonprofits, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, there's a whole lot going on. You know, this is just the beginning. Along with that, I'll be doing a business expo. And those that have been a part of that, I'm sure they're looking forward to it. It's something that we do to support small businesses, give them opportunities to be able to network and, you know, get their information out there too. We try to do what we can to get, you know, businesses information circulating where they get new customers and new clients, et cetera, et cetera. So that'll be coming up on May the 20th as well. So that's probably just a snippet, but but those are probably the two top things that are coming up really soon for me.
Very well.
Nice. Super
Dr.
busy.
Reynolds?
Okay. Well, I'm excited to be coming on to the top of the morning show with TT here pretty soon. So I'm excited about that. May 11th, I spoke on the pre-Mother's Day event that my husband and our company, Lansing Social Elite, is having up here in Lansing with the Dominic Hammonds. Exciting, exciting. And then in July, I will be a speaker at the 7-Figure Boss Summit. I will be speaking to women and, you know, who are also entrepreneurs. And I'll be speaking on how to get to the good life, set up your legacy with patient advocacy. So I will be having some links where you can view a virtual, and you can also come on site, and that'll be in Houston. And I'll have that updated on my website as well.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, I want to thank you two queens for taking time out of your evening. I know that you guys are both seriously busy doing a lot of things. I be jumping in that arena. I wish for you to get everything that you need and want for your nonprofit organizations. I hope that the listeners, the viewers that tapped in for Tap In Tuesday will be able to get some knowledge, also some direction. I'm thinking that I'm going to try to transfer this show into I have my husband because he engineer my stuff because I be trying, but like, yeah, sometimes I can't. So I'm gonna see about him because next week I'm gonna be doing something different, and I want to put this show out there. And so there's a lot of wealth of knowledge that you ladies shared tonight, and we crossed over, and that's one thing I like about when I have guests that do a lot of different things, the opportunity to use the platform to talk about it, because you know we might do one thing great, but we do many things, and so people don't know about us unless we tell them. People don't know what we do unless we show them, and so I'm grateful for, like, I look at it like, oh, I got an exclusive because it was here that you
You definitely got one for me.
Okay, and then, you know, you was looking for something to do up there around them parts from pre-Mother's Day. Bam, you heard it right here on TT from the D. But I'm just grateful to be able to know women that are doing things that's empowering others. And so with your nonprofits, you're not just empowering women, you're empowering men, women, boys, girls, families, people, you know, from all walks of life. And so with that, I tip my hat and say salute to you both, because it's not an easy task. Like, you know, it sounds great when people talk about the nonprofit. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna start me a nonprofit. Then they start talking about all that paperwork and something. No, that's not my calling. It's not my gift. So I was like, yeah, no, no, I'll do this. I'm not gonna do that. But I hope that you guys will take the opportunity to look into what Michigan Nonprofit Association is doing. I would love, I know, Karen, you know Rena, who
Yes, I know Rena,
owner of the New Citizen Press. She's an amazing woman, serial entrepreneur as well. Amazing. It's because
she puts out excellent information for the community as well.
She does. It's because of her that I have been put onto this campaign run and several others that I've my show has been sought out to do. Because if I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? You ain't got to worry like, well, she said she's gonna. If I said I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And that's why I have to be mindful. I can't say I'm gonna do everything because I got all these calendars. I'll be like, okay, hold on, because in my mind I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds familiar. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Let me get back to you. So it's like we know where we're supposed to be, and so for you guys being here tonight, because I know you could have been anywhere else tonight, and I know you got places to run to. I know y'all gonna kill me because you should have been gone a long time ago. But y'all have some good stuff, and I wasn't gonna talk to you. That's like when God show up in church. How you gonna be like, oh y'all, okay, everybody, we gonna go on and leave out? You not God has saturated the atmosphere, so when he show up, you be quiet. So
Absolutely.
you had things to say, and people needed to hear it, whether they're present right now or they'll log on tonight, tomorrow, because the show will stay up. Somebody is going to say, I needed to know that. So thank you, ladies. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I thank you because watching you for so many years and you having this platform for us.
Yeah.
When you reached out, I was just waiting my turn and praying on it, TT.
Aw,
How long did it take me to text you back?
thank
But
you.
your platform is exactly what we need. Your reach, your authenticity, just you being who you are. I'm so grateful, and may God continue to bless you abundantly for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Ditto,
it.
ditto, ditto, ditto.
I
She said,
receive it.
she said it perfectly. I tell you all the time.
You do. You do. Well, ladies, you go on and be greater on this perfect Tuesday night. You know, we got bipolar weather because it was just 90 degrees last week, and I don't know what we're doing today. So bundle up. I know y'all cute, probably got your little toes done, but just put some shoes on. Don't have them sandals on just yet. Okay, because y'all got stuff coming up, and I'm gonna need y'all not to be like sounding congested and none of that. Okay.
Yeah.
So for all of our viewers tonight, I hope that you guys have learned a lot. Thank you for everyone who chimed in tonight. We appreciate you. You could catch me here each and every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, all week long, we have the nonprofit organizations Take It Over my show on the top of the morning show, which I just launched for season 3 this year for the TT from the D. It's a spinoff. And so that's at 6 a.m. I was thinking about it. I did a poll before I shut down last year. When's a good time? Some people are like, dang, I've been trying to get the kids to bed. I wish you had something in the morning time. And then I'm like, yeah, I don't. So it's like, I got to work. My 9 to 5, I got to be there. But I thought about it. I was like, I could use the different formats, the platform. So the top of the morning show is Monday through Friday, 6 a.m., everybody. And you can hear that on iHeartRadio now, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor.fm. There's one other one. I keep getting it. My bad. But yeah, and this what's so amazing is that this interview, once I put it out there on those platforms, it's heard in other countries. And when I saw the analytics, I was like, how the hell did they? I was like, me? I was like, okay, go ahead. I'm
Yes.
excited. So that's Monday through Friday, and then every Tuesday right here. And you can watch this. Some people struggle with StreamYard. I don't know why. I don't know why people think you don't need an account. People inbox me and be like, I couldn't get on. I'm like, they're like, I don't have an account. You don't need it. Maybe you don't have a Facebook, but if you don't have a Facebook, you can look at YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. And there's another one I got. There's another one. I know it's purple. I'm gonna learn what that one is. Y'all, that's sad, but I got it. But that's my truth. I'm gonna walk in it. I don't know. It's a purple box, but I'll tell you next time. So anyway, be great, everybody. Be safe out there. I'm gonna shut us down with one of Ever Academy songs because I got it in my queue. Shout out to Ever Academy. I hung out with him this Sunday. We was out in Chicago, and amazing. It was great weather the first day. I don't know what happened on Sunday.
I love all his music. Oh,
yeah. I love this last project he did. It's really dope. So I'm going to say we're going to end it with amen.
yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. So we're going to end it with amen. So, oh, I think I got 2 questions. Do I got 2 questions over here? Oh, look, go ahead, Larry. Come on now. He said it's Twitch. Thank you. He was like, she's struggling. I was on a struggle bus. It was purple. I'm like, it's purple. It's a little bus. Thank you. You're right. It's Twitch. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. And so, yes, we're going to, and see, amen to that. Okay. All right. So, without any further ado, ladies, y'all have a great night. And I'm going to shut this show down, ladies and gentlemen. Come back next Tuesday. We'll figure out what we're going to do. Or I know you'll have to find out. And it's your girl, TT from the D. It's been my pleasure. Salute.
They say you can't do both. You be up on TV, then singing them songs you wrote. Boy, you better pick one thing, 'cause we ain't trying to hear you sing. I ain't never heard nobody, yeah, but time and time again, they try me, yeah. If that makes me a bad person, well, maybe you're the one who's hurting. Why you gotta hurt me so good? I will not be misunderstood. I won't let you break me again, 'cause I'm stronger now. Let the church say amen. Sometimes they try to break you down. They see you loving life, well, this is upside down. Listen to me, sometimes it works, but them's the times. I gotta put me first. I ain't never hurt nobody, yeah. I am who I am. They can't take that away from me. Look to the one who made you who you are. You're a star, and you're gonna go far. Why you gotta hurt me so good? I will not be misunderstood. I won't let you break me again, 'cause I'm stronger now. Let the church say amen. Hey, hey, amen. Hey, hey, amen. Hey, amen. Stronger now. Let the church say amen. Why you gotta hurt me so good? Why you? I will not be misunderstood. No. Yeah. I won't let you break me again, 'cause I'm stronger now. Let the church say amen. Why you gotta hurt me so good? Amen. I will not be misunderstood. I won't let you break me again, 'cause I'm stronger now. Let the church say amen. Hey, hey.